Welcome, everyone, to episode 144 of Rangers Ed, presented by Lucarelli Law. If you're in Florida or New York and you need a lawyer, you can call Lucarelli Law at 239-775-8889 and tell them the boys at Rangers Ed sent you. This is Cousin Ed. What's up, boys? Coach, PJ running in from the train.
Literally, train got in at 7:10. It's usually like 40, 45 from my apartment. Got in 25 minutes. I wasn't even speeding. Thank God there was no traffic. And I parked, texted you that I literally was sprinting so I can settle in and make it on time. So that's how much I love you guys.
Yeah. We got, Big night, obviously, opening night of the Rangers Centennial season. We're going to talk about that game. I'm sure everyone's thrilled to cover it and to consume, content related to that debacle. But also later tonight, we're going to hop on another stream. So check out on YouTube. Look for that. The separate stream is going to be our fantasy league draft. We got 12 guys in the league. They're all associated with the pod in some way. So let's see how many show up for the live stream and get themselves on YouTube. But it's going to be a fun interaction one way or the other. We're going to present the draft on the screen. So you can see everybody's picks, and we'll talk smack while we're doing it. So that'll be a little lighthearted and fun thing to kind of wash away the disgust from yesterday. Coach, what's going on over there, man?
Not much. I got to watch 90% of the game. We had practice last night. I heard the rest of it, and that's it. I guess we just got to dive into what the situation was last night from the get-go.
Yeah, let me ask you, where is your microphone? I'm just curious.
Right in front of me.
Oh, it's there?
Right here.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't see it, and sometimes it sounds like you're like 75 miles away, and sometimes it sounds like you're like right on the microphone. So I don't know if you have no? Okay.
No, it's right here.
Okay. All right. Well, Coach, I'm with you, Coach. Let's jump right into the content. We're going to start with Jersey Profiles, which is sponsored by the Blue Line Blue Shirts. Our friend Mark, you guys got to know him over the summer. Check him out on Instagram at the Blue Line Blue Shirts. Number 44 for episode 144. There were some choices. There were a number of players, but we figured why not? New season, new team. Let's introduce a new player, Vladislav Gavrikov, who's wearing 44 this year. He's been in the league 7 years with the Blue Jackets and the Kings. 29 goals, 106 assists. Obviously not a point getter. He's more of a defensive defenseman. He's been plus 24 in his career. Pretty good for someone who spent so many years with the Blue Jackets. And he signed with the Rangers on July 1st, as everyone knows, 7 years, $7 million AAV. So Gavrikov, couple things about him. Get to know him a little. He played with Artemi Panarin with the Blue Jackets in 2019-20, the year they beat Tampa in the first round, I believe. PJ will correct me because he knows everything. I think that's the right year. And he played with Igor Shesterkin in SKA St. Petersburg as well. So maybe this Florida? Is why SKA St. Petersburg in Russia.
Russia.
Yeah. So maybe St. Petersburg. Yeah. I didn't catch that. Maybe that's why he was, able to, the Rangers were able to get him at a discount. When you look at the deal Provorov signed right before Gavrikov, I was pretty surprised that the average annual value being so low. So could be why. Maybe he wants to be in New York with his Russian buddies. And of course, the Little Ed fun fact for tonight, Gavrikov was traded to the Los Angeles Kings, Coach. And in that deal, another Rangers connection going back to Columbus, Jonathan Quick, before he got shipped to Vegas and won the Cup with Vegas. Quick was part of that trade that sent Gavrikov to the Kings. So I wonder if there's a little chatter between them about that, what went down with that trade.
I think Jonathan Quick actually did get quoted during training camp saying that he was happy he wasn't swapped out again for him. But Yeah, and then I put it up there, but shout out Mark, our sponsor, Blue Line Blue Shirts, was wearing the Gavrikov blue jersey in the picture there last night with the patch. He had the authentic jersey already, and then as he said, he secured the Centennial one he wore last night on the ice to get for his collection. So that's why he's the jersey sponsor.
Oh man, that is so funny. That's awesome. So he got a Gavrikov jersey already. Gavrikov, though, it's an interesting one, Mark. I'm with you. I feel like Gavrikov's going to be a little Ed favorite, so I'm curious to see how that plays out.
Coach, I gotta say, I watched him in the preseason when he played, and I want to see him live because I'm not overly impressed yet.
He did struggle. He did struggle last night, as most people did.
Yeah, I mean, look, his game.
I was saying, if we're being fair, he really struggled last night. He was pretty good in the preseason.
That's what I'm saying. I wasn't overly impressed.
Yeah, I mean, look, his game is a physical and positioning type game. He's just a big defenseman that is billed as knowing how to play D. So give him a little bit of time. Maybe he's adjusting to Sullivan's system, the organization, the city. Who knows? But I do think eventually you guys will be impressed with him. But all right. Anything else on Gavrikov, PJ?
No, just like you said, hope he bounces back. I think he will once he settles in. New team, new system with Fox. I think he'll be really good. I'm not worried about him.
Yeah, same. Not yet, at least. Plenty else to worry about. So I'll do this for the sake of continuity. Prior to the last episode, the Rangers were 0-0-0. Since the last episode, they've lost to the only team in the league who is actively trying to lose games, 3-0. So, and the game was 3. Yeah, the game was 3-0. Coach Artur obviously is 1-0 with the 2 empty netters, but Artur's Shilovs, I think I said that right, with the shutout at MSG on opening night in the Centennial season. Team full of retreads and minor leaguers and aging stars, 19-year-old rookies galore. Rangers couldn't generate a scoring chance in the game, except, ironically, Zibanejad had a few. Put it right into the penguin on the jersey, but he had the chances. Let's just start with our impression of well, let's start with PJ. Actually, you were at the game, so we'll start with you. Tell me the festivities at least before we talk about all the negativity.
Yeah, I mean the vibes were high before. We got there for the blue carpet. I mean, and we've been to pretty much every home opener since 2018. It's kind of me and my wife's tradition, and except for obviously the COVID year when there was no fans. And that was probably the most people I've seen at the blue carpet. Really early. Our train got there at 3:40, and before we got to our hotel, it was already packed. But so shout out Allie, a New York Ranger girl, was there. She actually was integral in getting Jenna to get Mika to sign her jersey at the blue carpet. So that was really cool. That's her favorite player. So shout out Allie, and then I got to hang out with Mark beforehand too. So like I said, the vibes were high. Got to meet Brendan from We Bleed Blue. He has really nice things to say about the pod, So everyone was feeling good. Vibes are high. Everyone got in early. Warm-ups. The jerseys looked amazing. I should say before warm-ups, I also want to do another shout out to M Vitali, listener here. So you see her comments. She stopped me and said hi. It was nice to meet a fan and talk, Rangers and stuff. So it was good to see her and put a face to a name. And glad she's still listening. But the jersey's awesome. I thought in person, absolutely gorgeous. I mean, they don't do it justice when they announced them. Once you see the full uniform, and it was on the ice, it almost looked like there was like a filter. It was like going back in time. So really beautiful. Cool. Yeah, and then the Garden, it was pretty raucous. Or well, I wouldn't say raucous, but like lively early during the announcements, and Brancy got everyone going. But just felt like an anxious environment as the game went on. There wasn't a lot of action. It was kind of like a low event game, especially early until the last Pittsburgh goal. And it was just, just very like bland in there. And then it just almost seemed like people were waiting for something bad to happen. I don't know if that's because of last year. It just a lot of anxiety. And the biggest cheer of the game was when Judge hit the home run.
Yeah. Can you do me a favor? Not to interrupt you, but can you do me a favor and kick Oscar out of the chat? Is that possible? Because I'm already negative enough, Oscar. Let's get him out of here with these comments about rookie goalies and all this stuff. Anyway, so
the guy's not a rookie goalie. First of all,
well, he's pretty much he qualifies as a rookie. I think.
I think he's had a good amount of games for Vancouver.
He's only got 20 NHL games. That's what I said last night on the broadcast.
Well, I mean, if you count, that's regular season, but he was basically
playoffs don't count towards rookie status.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying, like he was.
I'm not saying if he's a rookie or not. The guy has experience under pressure situations. It's not like he just came from the AHL and started the game.
Well, he did come from the AHL because that's where he was last year when he won the
Calder Cup.
He
has played in the NHL under pressure situations.
Yes.
It's not like it's his first NHL game.
No, but he's a rookie goalie.
He did play the whole playoff run through the Eastern Conference.
I think, PJ, can you confirm if he's a rookie?
I mean, I'll see if he designates as one, but I mean, like I said, he played the whole playoff run with Vancouver in 2020. Was it 2024? I mean, he made to the Eastern Conference final with them with JT Miller. He was their starter.
No, second round.
Yeah, that's right. They met Game 7. I keep thinking that was the. But
yeah, he lost to McDavid.
Yeah,
he played when Demko got hurt.
And he was AHL MVP last year in the playoffs when they won the Calder Cup.
All right, guys, let's take a breath here. I mean, we're this is like the guy was traded to Pittsburgh for a scrub and a 4th-round pick like a week ago. He was dumped by Vancouver to Pittsburgh, who took a shot at a young goalie who has a little bit of playoff experience, but that's it. I mean, he's an unproven player against Igor Shesterkin at home in the 100th season of the franchise against the coach's former team after the worst season that I can remember in Rangers history, and the guy gets a shutout. If they play Tristan Jarry, the Rangers win that game, right? Maybe that's why Dan Muse played him.
No, I don't even know because, like, we saw that. I sent you guys Valaquette's chart after the game. They had one high danger chance.
It was terrible.
Terrible. I could have got a shutout in there. I mean, every shot was so easy. There was no traffic. It was brutal.
I kept waiting, Coach, for the Rangers to get a garbage goal and then just kind of like bust out and score a couple, I felt that vibe during the beginning of the game. Like, oh, they're going to score like a cheap goal and tie this up. It was only 1-0. I was like, it's not that bad. Like, but they just didn't ever generate any offense.
Well, maybe first of all, Panarin didn't play in the preseason at all. By making Panarin a north-south player, maybe that's hurting him. I don't know. I don't know. I thought Zibanejad was flying. I thought there were a lot of positives. 2 shifts into the game, I immediately texted somebody saying, JT Miller's hurt. He's still hurt. He just wasn't pushing off. You could see his skating. That was obvious.
Well, he also didn't play in the preseason.
I'm just giving you my observations. Gavrikov, I don't think he had a great game. Just watching on TV. It's different in person. I'm just going by what I saw on TV. Other than that, I thought Laffy had a lot of nice physical play. Forechecking and back checking. Cooley played himself. I know you guys all expected a win. They generally don't do great on opening nights and in jersey retirement ceremonies for some reason. I don't know what it is, but I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just concerned because
I would not have gone to last night's game expecting to blow out Pittsburgh. Whether you say it's a bunch of rookies or young guys or the old aging veterans, it's still Sidney Crosby, Evgeny Malkin, Chris Letang. They're going to play to win no matter what.
Of course. No, every team in the league is going to play to win no matter what.
Well,
but
I'm
Pittsburgh
just saying, you made a comment. They're playing to lose. They're not going to play to lose.
The organization No. The organization is actively trying to lose. Like it's very like an unspoken secret in the hockey world. All the analysts say Kyle Dubas is, trying to get a high picks and rebuild quickly. Everybody knows it. It's not. They're the only team in the league that's doing it.
Okay,
Everybody
well,
else is
obviously they won.
Yeah, yeah, that's what makes it so horrible to me.
And when you bring in a couple
Yeah.
of rookies, their rookies outplayed our rookies. Laba did okay, but he didn't do like he did in the preseason. He did a good job, but nothing phenomenal. He had that one good scoring chance I saw. Well, not great scoring chance, but good one. Played a good game, but nothing that was eye-opening. And that's what happens. I heard Dan Muse's voice for the first time. He talked about that.
PJ, the bottom six. The top six obviously was ineffective. Coach gave some reasons. Panarin didn't play. Miller was hurt. Those are all valid reasons. I didn't see enough out of the top six. I thought Zibanejad had some chances. He looked to be skating pretty good, but not enough urgency. But I'm more concerned about the bottom six. It's one game, so we got to be careful we don't overreact. I've been really trying not to. After the Giants lost to the Saints, the Mets blew the playoffs, and the Rangers lose to Pittsburgh on opening night. I'm being really tested right now, but trying not to overreact. But the bottom six worries me because, God, I'm looking for goals there, and like unless we get surprised by like Laba or like we called Rempe in the preseason prediction episode, or I don't know. I don't see a lot of goals coming from the bottom six.
Yeah, I mean, and your first point about just the game, like them losing to Pittsburgh and coach's comment about do we expect to blow them out? No, I don't think we expected them to blow them out. But after how bad last year was and embarrassing to the organization, opening night, Centennial, time to turn the page. You just figured you want to turn the page, wipe the taste of the fans' mouth. And that's the first game we see is just not a good vibe.
Yes.
It just makes everyone worried the same bad habits and shit is going to happen. But to your point about the bottom six, this is the risk of playing Mikko on the wing. It just is because the lineup is top heavy.
Yeah.
You got Laba, but he's a rookie. How many points are we expecting? Cherry's on a PTO, had a bad year last year, didn't even play really in the NHL. And Radish isn't really known for scoring. He did have 1 year where he almost put up 20. So if Mika plays in the top six and you have like a defensive-minded third line, you're not going to get that much offense unless you split the lineup up down three centers, Mika, Trocheck, JT, and then you bring up like a Perreault or an Othman or Berard, and it just makes your team that much deeper and gives you more balanced scoring, which they might have to do if that continues, if they get no scoring from there. Because if the team shuts down the top two lines or guys aren't effective, you're right. Yep. It's going to be a big issue.
Yeah, I thought that third line coach forechecked pretty well, the Sheary, Laba, and Radish line. So I don't hate it, but I do worry if Laba doesn't put the puck in the net on that line. Like, I don't know who's gonna. Like, I don't see Sheary scoring more than 10 or 12 goals, in an effective year. I don't see Radish doing much more than that, if that much. So it's not a long-term lineup, though. We have to remember opening night lineups are never the lineups that we see in December or February or April, right? So those young guys will probably be up at some point, but man, Valaket said on the post game, I suffered through that last night, that it gets late early in the NHL, right? Like you could play 10 games and be left behind, left in the dust. Like this can't be something that lingers. It has to be what JT Miller said. Next game, we're going to be better. Like I'm not worried about this one game, right? Okay. I'm with you. I'm totally like, okay, I'm willing to give that opportunity, but I don't know. If the top six doesn't score, are you concerned about the bottom six scoring?
I'm not. I don't think it's a bottom six league to be scoring. I've gone over this many times. The bottom six guys have a role. You can only afford to pay them so much because the top six guys are commanding these salaries, and in our case, the goaltender. So, you're not going to get these phenomenal players on the bottom six. If you two guys raved about Laba and he should make the lineup. He made the lineup, and now you're complaining that he might not be good enough to be a third line scorer. So I don't know what the answer is. I thought that Carrick, I would sign that guy long term as long as you can for $1.5 million for 5 years or something. Because that guy plays hockey. He was both ends of the ice on TV. I noticed him all night.
Lou Lamoriello for what?
Forechecking, neutral zone, all over. So you got to take some positives out of the game. Shesterkin played, I thought, pretty much lights out. He got beat on the one goal. That was a great shot. You got to take some positives out of it.
Well, so first of all, that's an unfair dig at us. I'll say about Laba, and I'm going to defend myself a little bit here.
So.
I think so, because when you get a rookie like Laba, he's zero professional experience, right? But he played in Hartford last year, maybe a little bit, right? PJ, I don't remember. He might have come in after college and played in Hartford a few games. Zero professional experience, super impressive in the preseason, got a bright future, and you plug him into the lineup. I'm all for that. But he's plugged into the lineup with a guy who is was signed off a PTO, let's be honest, and then another guy who's making 1.5 mil to fill out the lineup and he's probably a fourth liner, right? These aren't goal scorers, right? So you're expecting Noah Laba to walk into the NHL and carry those two guys offensively. You're setting him up to not produce points. You're setting up Laba to not do well.
I didn't say he's got
an organization.
I didn't say he's got to carry them.
Well,
those two guys forechecking and hustling makes the game a lot easier than having a guy that you don't know what's going to do. Those guys are guaranteed playing their position and playing the system that they're supposed to. So that makes it easier for you to play in your first NHL game. I'm not saying he should have went out and got a hat trick, but everybody said give the young guys shots. He got a shot. You got to give everything time.
Yeah, I agree. Time is the answer. Time is the answer.
And the second thing is, Valaket's point is probably true historically where, the season ends early or whatever you said before. But Edmonton 2 years in a row had horrible starts and didn't produce until late December, January, and made it to the finals. So you can't give up on a team after one game. Yes, I realize everybody's all hyper from last year. I get the whole perspective. But I'm not ready to give up on them, and I'm not going to sit there going crazy because they lost 1-0 to Pittsburgh. Am I disappointed? Yeah, but I'm not going to say, the season's going to tank now because they lost one game.
Oh, I agree. I'm really trying to agree. I'm really, really this is a lot of effort.
Well, if you're trying to agree, then you don't agree.
10 years ago, I wouldn't have agreed. 10 years ago, I would be like, I don't even know.
If
my reaction would be much different.
If we did the show immediately after the game last night, I wouldn't agree. I was pretty down just because you pay all that money to go there after last season. You want to start fresh. It was just such a ugly game. You didn't even cheer for a goal. There were just no good chances. There wasn't really anything to be excited about. And that's, again, it's one game, but it's just I'd rather them would have lost 5-4 in overtime. Something just like more exciting, like at least little like
mistake prone or something.
Yeah,
some mistake prone hockey. They got to clean up some mistakes and it'll be fine. But instead it was this team has no energy.
It just there was a lot of pockets of the game that felt like last year. The end of the period goal, which we'll go over. This just they look slow. They looked like they were skating in mud. And just the lack of, offensive chances. It just looked disjointed with they couldn't make a pass across the ice. Pittsburgh was blocking everything. And when they did get a shot, it was no one in front. And I saw a clip of the postgame of Valaket saying that Seelov's was 94 out of 97 goalies against screens. And the Rangers didn't screen him once. How does he know that?
Wait, when was he? When was he 94 to 97 in the AHL?
No, the NHL out of his 20 games, and
you just told me he hardly played in the NHL.
I didn't. No, he played a lot. He put in the playoffs, and I guess that he said
Cousin was telling me that he's a rookie. Now he played.
No,
now he's 94. Now you're going to rate him at 97 goals. That he's horrible when he hasn't even had a large.
He's played in 4 separate seasons, including this one. So
he has 20.
I agree. The guy's
20 NHL games. His career high games played in a season is 10. And then 10 playoff games. So 30 total NHL games.
Okay.
Under his
so my point is, you can't.
And he's 24. He's not 21. He's 24.
You can't base his stats of 94 to 97 against screens in a 30-game over 4-year package. That's my point.
I'm just telling you what Valiquette said. But the fact that they
either. I'm not saying you had it. That's
I know. I'm just saying, but the fact that they didn't even screen him with that stuff. I mean, like, it was on the power play. It was too easy.
I'm surprised coach is so not critical, because I as a coach, I can't imagine what Sullivan's thinking after that game. Like, he's firing up the boys. This is the team I coached. Like, they mutually parted ways with me. I am now the coach of you. I go to fly to Sweden to meet you. I go here. I do this. I do that. And the effort level to me was lacking. I mean, Valiquette said before in the pregame, he goes, what's exciting about tonight is we don't really know what we're going to see. Anything is possible. This could be a brilliant game. There's a lot of motivators here. After the game, he said, lack of urgency is bothersome. Lack of attention to details is bothersome. Right? Like, to me, I agree. Like, that's my issue. It's not like, oh, they lost a game. Like, yeah, that would bother me. I'm not going to lie. But what bothers me is what PJ said. It was dull. Like, there's no, like, how do you not get up for the coach in that spot and go, I'm going to win this game for the coach? Money on the board, whatever. You don't think that applies to a coach? I don't know, coach. Like, as a coach, I'm surprised at your take. As a fan, I get it. I think it's a reasonable take. It's one game. It's not a big deal, like, in this grand scheme of things. I totally am with you. And you got to give them at least like 10, 12 games before we make like a real assessment of what this team is, where they're trending, right? Because they could come out and win 6-0 against Buffalo tomorrow night, and we're like, oh, that was a waste of a rant.
I mean, they did get
okay,
they win 6-0 last year to start the season.
I'm more concerned personally. The fact that if JT Miller is not ready to go every night, I don't want to hear in January that he's been fighting this injury off. Let him sit out 10 games or whatever he's got to do. Bring up somebody with some energy. They'll survive. Yep. Let the guy heal.
Put Mika at center and call it Perot, whatever.
Interesting.
I'm figure it out. That'd be my only knock against the whole thing. Personally, as a coach, yes, it's frustrating, but I'm sure Sullivan's going to say or said in his press conference that it's a process. It's going to take time. And that's how you got to look at it as a coach. A new team, you go through it a lot. And he's not going to throw anybody under the bus, I don't think, yet. But we'll see. I mean, that's my concern. JT Miller not being 100% for most of the season. That was a knee ligament or a hamstring thing. Let it heal. And we need him at 100%, not at 70 for the majority of the season. Because then if we get to playoffs, you need him 100%. It's just doesn't make sense to me. I understand they wanted to get him in for opening night. I think it's phenomenal. I'm sure it was exciting. I wanted him to be there opening night, but I don't want him going for the next 20 games hobbling on his leg or whatever he's doing.
Yeah, I agree.
He had no energy. He couldn't even forecheck in the neutral zone. He threw a couple of hits that I saw on TV, but I saw him on that penalty kill. I don't think it was a penalty kill. He was just standing in front of the net, just circling. He couldn't even push off.
Yeah, they say, Chris makes a good point. Miller plays through the injury, and they're lauding him for his toughness. If Mika did that, everyone would be like, sit down, you're injured. What are you doing? You're hurting the team. So it's the same concept. Like, if you're not able to play if your injury is preventing you from being better than the average player, and you're a guy like JT Miller, then you shouldn't play. Like, that's it, period. Like, you're an average guy out there. We can put a healthy average guy in a lineup, and you can get healthy yourself. And I agree with you. 100%.
Yeah.
Let's jump.
I'd be surprised. I wouldn't be shocked if he doesn't dress for the next game personally.
That's what I was going to say. I was just to put a bow on this. Interestingly enough, he practiced today. So if he was that hurt. I mean, I agree with you. I think he's hurt too. I was there. He did not look right. He couldn't push. He had no jump. I mean, he said after the game his legs were heavy. He really didn't. He had 2 practices since he got hurt, not even one full one, and played in 1 preseason game. So maybe it was rust. I don't know. But if he was really hurt, I don't even think he would have practiced. They would have gave him a maintenance day or something like that. So I just found that interesting.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah, that is a little crazy to me. That's, I guess, their decision with the team, but it doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, for sure. All right. I mean, Justin, your last name makes your comment like null. It's like, I mean, come on, like,
get the big props.
Yeah, Justin, because we love PJ. He's here for his puck knowledge, but like, come on, dude. Like,
I think they look pretty good though. Like,
at least put like Justin S next time. Like just put like Justin S. So we don't know what's going on.
Wait, you had Susie in the lineup?
Yeah, I had Laba in the third.
He had Vakanainen out. And Morrow in. That was the only thing you missed.
Yeah, my forward lineup was perfect. I had Laba in, and then my power play, you guys gave me crap about Rempe, and I had that right too.
What was my third line? I don't remember.
Well, PJ, in all fairness, you're the only one on the podcast that watches these reels of practice and everything every day. So I can't predict that Rempe's on the second power play unit other than the fact that you telling me he was skating with the second power play. I don't watch every day. Maybe I should, but
I don't know. I don't know if that's props.
It wasn't that bold of a prediction.
I don't know if that's props or criticism. The tone is critical, but the words were giving you credit. So I'm not really sure.
Well, you got to figure it out.
Yeah, it's like if someone says like congratulations, like what a wonderful achievement, but their tone is like super critical. You're like, wait, is this sarcasm? Is it like? All right, Coach. I want to jump into Coach's corner. And before we do that, let's hear from Bella, the sponsor of Coach's Corner.
Hey, everybody. Coach Ed here. I'm over here in the shop at Bella Italia, Marble, Granite, and Quartz, picking up my order for a nice little bathroom I'm doing. I've been a contractor almost as long as I'm a hockey coach. So listen to me when I tell you, when you want the quality work and craftsmanship, come and see the boys over at Bella. They serve all 5 boroughs, Westchester, Long Island, all the way out to Montauk. Whether you're a Ranger fan, Islander fan, Devils fan, they're going to take care of you no matter what. Make sure you give them a call, 516-561-1018. Let's go, Rangers. All right, boys, bring it in.
Chris, I love it. Love it, Chris.
Oh, Coach. All right. I want to see, Coach, what you say and tell me before you go, did you see Messier and TJ Oshie talk about it on the broadcast as well?
Yes, I did, and that's one of the reasons why it kind of bothered me that Messier didn't notice it. I'll give TJ Oshie a pass because I think that was his first broadcast. So he seemed a little nervous talking, but
yeah. So why don't we go ahead? Go ahead. Do your thing.
Well, first of all, going back to the first 2 minutes and the last 2 minutes, I remember I've talked about this before on air that Herb Brooks' famous mantra was never let up a goal in the first 2 minutes or the last 2 minutes of a period. So what do we mean by that? What do we mean is a 0-0 game. I'm not saying you have to play on your heels, but you should be playing with a little bit more caution. Like PJ has been talking about, and we needed this game, 0-0 game, get out of that period. We got outplayed pretty much. Let's get out of it 0-0, regroup in the locker room, so on and so forth. The play that led to this, like Johnny Lash said, his coach used to say, there's more than one situation that leads up to a goal. Why that puck was even iced, I don't know. I think it might have been Schneider. Somebody hit it out of the zone. All they had to do was flip it out of the zone, and they iced the puck, and it wasn't even under that much duress. So that creates obviously you have a guy like Crosby and Malkin on the other team. You're creating an offensive zone, defensive zone faceoff for us with 29 seconds left. Just a recipe for disaster. So what was your question you wanted to go over first? Messier's comments?
Yeah, in the broadcast, they harped pretty hard on Lafreniere blowing the coverage, running out to the point. And, I watched it a few times when they showed it. And, yeah, I agree. He kind of hesitated. He just went to the point. He wasn't paying attention. But the real issue for me, I thought, was that Schneider was lined up not in front of the net there at the end of the period. I mean,
Not
normally
Schneider.
Schneider
was on the wall.
No, that's my point. So normally that setup makes sense. I get why the teams do that. But why in that spot as a coach with 30 seconds to go in the period or whatever it was, why don't you put both D in there, like D in front of the net, D behind the center, instead of on the wall? Like in that particular spot.
You can't leave a guy alone on the wall. I go over this all the time when we're on a penalty kill, especially. If you leave a forward alone on the wall and do what you say here, D forward, let's just say it's not that perfect. What?
That's not what I was saying. Sorry. I was saying
you're saying one D here. One D
One
here.
D in front, D there, forward.
All right, but what I'm saying is on a penalty kill, if you leave the other team with this forward all alone, it's an easy win. So with 29 seconds left, if you do that 5-on-5, you're giving that center an easy win to the wall and control and giving up possession pretty much on the NHL.
Well, you got you would have a forward there, coach, right? I mean, you'd have a forward.
No, you said don't put the D on the wall.
Yeah, put a forward there instead. So just in that spot, I'm just curious, why not put a D in front of the net, protect the net, right? So you go center, forward on the wall.
I understand, right? Yeah.
D behind the center, and then D and forward in front of the net. Forward in front of the net, their job is to get out to the point. Forward on the wall takes that forward on the wall. It leaves the D at the top of the point at the far, like through traffic, maybe if it's clean draw, they could step in, but then they got to get the puck through all those people in front of the net in the circle. I'm not so concerned with that. I'm more concerned
with first of all, the point Messier made with this D being here, I don't agree with either. I notice a lot of teams are doing in the NHL now. My setup is always D on the wall, D here, forward and D. I'm sorry.
Two
forward, D here. Yeah, two forwards.
So you have no one behind the center.
This forward. No, because if he wins it back, if anything, what I've been doing now is I've been putting this D 2 steps away from their wing.
So they can adjust.
So if this center can win it back, he's got to get chased back. All right? You don't have to have him back here. To me, there's no reason. You're leaving one guy uncovered. All right? That's how I like to do it. So in this situation, if you have the D here, like I said, this forward on the puck drop, the mistake that I disagree with what Messier said, which I cannot believe he didn't address as a center, one of the best centers two-way of all time, is the number one rule. And I had this video in our off-ice pre-practice last night because I go over this all the time. Whose responsibility is this center when the puck drops?
The other
Which
center?
What are you saying?
The other center.
The other center. You always stay with stay with the center until we have possession. That's the number one. Messier did not mention that at all.
Yeah.
He just kept blaming Laffy. Now, yes, you had Panarin and Laffy. Now, Trocheck gets down real low. I feel Malkin recognizes this, right? And all he does is chip it like just past him. Trocheck couldn't get out of that squat fast enough for Malkin to go here and get it. Now, what does that do? Now, this D, instead of going this way, has to challenge.
Yeah.
Laffy did jump early because his responsibility is to hold that guy up. And then when he sees possession, if they win it this way, then he goes out. He did jump early. The second thing is Panarin on the inside, his responsibility also is to recognize this and bump that guy.
Yep.
And then go out. The puck's not out here. We don't have possession. No one has possession at this point.
Yeah, they acted like they were going to get possession.
They're not getting this pass until possession is made. It always takes 5 guys to win a faceoff. Valaket says it all the time. Any coach will say it. So Panarin has to recognize Malkin jumping, bump him. That gives this D a chance to get that puck and then bring it back and reverse it. It gives Schneider stay with his man, which is this guy who started cutting into help. But like we said, Laffy did jump it. But by Trocheck being down and Malkin coming here, this D had a challenge. He wasn't able to stay with his man, the center. And then Laffy jumping left their forward, looping around all alone. So it was not just Laffy's fault. And that's what bothered me when Messier he said it like 3 times. He went over that play like 3 times.
Well, I think that I agree with what you're saying. I didn't think it was just his fault. I thought it was I didn't catch the Trocheck thing. So I'm glad you brought that up. Because I was looking at Vakanainen and I was like, why is he it's almost like he's like challenging the puck there when there's no D in front of the net. Like you're the guy who's supposed to go to the front of the net.
That was going to be my point, Coach.
Not necessarily. Again, first of all, when you're in this position, you trust that everybody's doing their job. Laffy's job would have been to hold that guy up with the puck here.
That's the point I agree with Messier's. I do
agree with that. Laffy misread it. But leading up to that, there were a couple of other small mistakes. One being Laffy, one being Panarin, that left that guy alone. If anything, Laffy should have stayed with that forward. What was his name?
Brazeau.
He should have stayed with him, man on man, until the puck is taken, and then he breaks out to the other side for the breakout around.
100%. 100%.
He made a mistake. He definitely made a mistake, and he realized that he turned around. It was too late. But if you watch that play, Malkin just jumps. He almost did like you guys. I don't know if you're familiar in football when they do it's called a trap play, where an offensive tackle or guard will actually on a pass rush, not even go at the guy, just back up so the guy almost falls on his face.
Yep.
Right? The defensive tackle will fall on his face. And if you watch the play, Trocheck is down, the puck drops. Malkin like stands up and just flips the puck. And Trocheck is going to battle low and he just gets caught. It's a split-second thing. But Trocheck fights so hard on those draws. That's his thing. And you got to give, like I said before, you got to give credit to Malkin for saying, this is what I'm going to do. And he executed. I don't think that'll happen again to Trocheck because he'll watch that video and he'll see what was going on. You know, obviously he's one of the best face-off guys in the league. But like I said, definitely Laffy was to blame. But there were other circumstances, and he should have had help. Panarin can't jump and go for a breakaway with 29 seconds left. You need to know the time. Less than a minute left in the period, 0-0 game. You have responsibility. We couldn't make the change because of the icing. And it leads to this, not having your defensive forwards on the faceoff. And Panarin jumps the gun because his mind is offense. Laffy's thinking the same way, most likely. And they got caught.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting.
I wanted to bring up one thing, Coach, about the icing, because I remember this vividly because I was talking to this guy next to me about this. You're right. They did ice it. But the next face-off, JT Miller's line was out there because they iced it. And Miller won it back, and Igor gloved it and froze it. Then Sullivan sent out that line thinking because it's
he did? Okay, so I stand corrected on that.
Yeah, which is interesting with Panarin and Loff in a D-zone start. I guess, especially end of a period, I'm surprised maybe he didn't load up a defensive line. I know Laviolette used to do that a lot, but I know Sullivan said there was 3 mistakes made, and that always leads to a goal. But I wanted to touch on what Cousin said about Vakanainen. Yeah, I understand he's going to cover Trocheck in that sense. But he was shaded so far left. If he was a little more, instead of right behind the center, but shading more towards the goal, he would have had a better angle to block that centering pass at least.
Yeah, he takes 100%. A lot of blame. Takes blame on that too, for sure.
I don't agree, but you can't blame him if that's their position. He doesn't do this on his own. That's their face-off.
No. You're right. It's more than one person's fault. I agree.
I want the D up here. Because to me, this D's responsibility is this forward automatically. The puck gets here, it's this D to go get it. That's how I do it.
I like that.
That's how the NHL did it for a long time. That's how I learned it.
I like it.
And now they're starting to bring this guy here for some reason. I don't. Maybe they feel Trocheck is going to win it clean, and then Schneider holds this guy off, and we have a clean breakout. I don't know. I don't believe in that because you're leaving one guy uncovered here.
I'm still traditionally at the end of periods in close games. I'm still pretty traditional and protect the net. And to me, you can blame any of the players, the coach, whoever. That can't happen in that spot. It's the end of a period. A guy should never be wide open in front of a net off a face-off ever. You got to figure out whatever setup you need to figure out to avoid that. If it's 2D on that over there, if it's one, if it's the half wall, like you said, down the wall, I don't know. I'm not a coach, but my nose for the game, coach, when I played in Vakenine and Spot, I would have been so concerned about the front of the net. I would not have pinched to the player like that. I know you're saying that maybe is what he's taught and what his instincts should be in that spot to cover Trocheck, but knowing that Schneider's on the wall, the puck is loose. You got Lafreniere, the only guy there. Panarin busts out. You see that as the D. You're not blind. He could see what they're doing. Your reaction is to go to the puck and leave the front of the net. I don't know. To me, my reaction would have been, oh, shit, I need to go to this front of the net. That would have been my reaction.
If he goes to the front of the net to cover this guy, then Malkin's all alone.
Yeah, but he breaks up a pass maybe, or he gets in the way, slows a guy down.
To me, I do two things. I'm constantly on the bench reminding the guys, it's the last minute of the period. Take no chances. Look at the score. I constantly drill that. I don't know if they do that on the pro level. I don't know, but I'm not putting Panarin out there in this situation.
He'll never do that again. That'll be the first and last.
There's no way. I put out the Lava. I put out the third line with Sheary and Radish. They're responsible. Lava can win that draw. He's going to do what he's taught to do as a rookie. Cover
Mika and Cooley.
Yeah, I just don't
put out 3 defensive forwards. Just make a makeshift line just for that face-off.
Yeah, I don't see it. I was if that's the case, I didn't realize that. To me, that's a mistake by.
I was surprised.
It's gonna be. Look, it's one game. I know I'm really sounding negative, but it's one game. It was really bad. Right, I'm sure fans, listening, Rangers fans that are listening to this and hearing all the content today, it's all negative. Coach is 100% right, though. It is one game. You got to give the team 10, 12, 20 games before we kind of know what they are. It leaves a bad taste in our mouth, but there's a game tomorrow night. Unfortunately, the Giants play the Eagles at the same time, so hopefully the Rangers can at least win because the Giants are not going to win. So
it's not even going to. In fact, I might bet $1,000 on
it. Yeah. I don't know. Saquon 3+ touchdowns is an easy bet there. Anyway, so the game's tomorrow night. There's another game Saturday against Pittsburgh in Pittsburgh. Let's see how the team responds, and then you guys join us Sunday in the suite when they're 2-1 and they're playing Washington, and we'll have some good vibes. You get to meet Patrick. I'm bringing him, so you get to meet my son. That'll be fun. He can't wait to see everybody and get his first game puck. And I'm sure it'll be Mika who gives him the game puck. I'm predicting that, by the way. So I'm looking forward to that. And we are going to do the upcoming, and then we're shifting over to the other stream to do our draft because Coach needs about a 4-minute window to figure out his login info. So pop up the upcoming schedule, PJ, sponsored by Sorrento's of Long Beach. So we got Buffalo tomorrow night, at Pittsburgh Saturday, and then the second home game of the year, Washington on Sunday, and we'll be there in the suite. Get your tickets. We still have a couple left. We really want it to be Rangers Ed listeners who get these tickets. So please reach out to us if you're interested. You don't have tickets to the game. It's going to be an amazing night. We're going to have a good time regardless of how the team does. So hit us up and get those tickets. All right, boys, make sure you order your Sorrentos for those games. If you're in the Long Beach area, go in, get your food before game time. Anything else?
I was already there tonight.
There's not even a game tonight, and Coach went. See, it's like
love that. Quick before we go, do you want to go what we did last year? You want to do predictions again, or are we too negative?
Yeah, we could do it. I'll go first. I'm gonna say, and don't kill me.
Go game by game, 2-second track how we got it right.
I'm gonna be positive. I'm gonna say win. Right?
Wow.
Let's go. They're coming back from that. That's not going to be this season. It's not going to be this season.
Here's my prediction. Cousin Ed and PJ just go into I don't even know what to call it because they're going to lose to Buffalo tomorrow night. I'm going to go lose, win. I'm not even going to be involved. I'm not even going to be involved in the group chat. I'm just going to shut off the notifications.
Don't even, you already have them off.
Because Pekka Luukkonen or whatever his name is going to shut them out.
He's not playing, actually. He's hurt. But, yeah, I mean, I don't even know who's going to – I'm the same way, Coach. You read my mind, actually, because Buffalo is like the Rangers' bugaboo, especially early on when Buffalo, before they know they're bad, I'm nervous they're going to boat race them a little bit. And then I think they'll finally get up for Sullivan in Pittsburgh, win that, and then – hopefully bounce back at home and win that too. So I'm saying loss, win. But remember Cousin how many times
I'm also going to say Noah Laba is going to score against Buffalo. I'm calling that. Okay, what'd you say, PJ?
I was going to say, remember last year how bad the season was going? And somehow when we got the predictions, we would predict like win. And never
loss.
Every time.
It never came through. They got to bounce out of it.
It's happening. Win, boys. Let's go.
We got Marcus, our sponsor, is with us. Win. Killjoy's going lost, win with me and Coach. So we shall see where we end up. But, yeah, I'd love to have some good vibes going into Sunday because –
let's go to the other stream. We got 4:40 to go. Thank you for joining us.
Have a good night, fellas.
Thank you for joining.
Shift over to the other YouTube. Shift over. Let's go.
Be right on the main feed. Love you guys. Let's go Rangers. Better – game opening next tomorrow. Let's see it. We'll see you guys in a second, though.
Coach signed off already. He's going to call me in 2 minutes.